Hello, and today I'm going to be reviewing Diamond Select's Darkwing Duck and Negaduck 2-pack. Darkwing fans have been waiting for quite a while for a premium Darkwing Duck action figure. Over the past few years, we've gotten a bunch of figurines, toys that are meant to be played with for kids. A more premium collector's action figure. One important thing to note before we begin is that the box set it comes with is humongous. With some rearranging, they probably could have gotten everything to fit in a smaller box, which would have definitely cut down on the shipping costs. When you buy action figures online, it's usually a good idea to dunk the figures in hot water for 5 to 10 seconds. A hair dryer will also work, and so will a heat gun. That way the joints won't be as stiff and you reduce the risk of snapping something. That you don't leave it in too long or else the joints will become too loose. After getting him out of the box, I did come across a number of flaws pretty quickly. A flaw of the engineering is that because there's single jointed elbows, it does definitely limit the types of poses you can put Darkwing in. Limited articulation in the legs, it does affect the number of poses that you can get his feet into. And also, because the cape is sculpted out of plastic, it weighs down on the figure and makes it difficult to get him to balance correctly, especially if you use the waving in the breeze cape. And the cape doesn't actually snap into the pegs on his shoulders that it's supposed to snap into. And because of how they designed the head with the peg joint being in the figure as opposed to how most action figures usually are, where the ball joint connects to the base of the skull. In this case, it makes it difficult getting the head back on once you've pulled it off, because his hat doesn't go down as far as it should have. Well, on a positive note, the figure does come with a good amount of accessories. You come with fists, gripping hands, his hat, a non-flowing cape, a cape that's blowing in the breeze, and a head that's looking to the side. A gas gun blast effect, a grapple gun being fired effect, and a grapple gun before being fired. And of course, Darkwing's gas gun, as well as with a stand, even though people who order it later may not get the stand. It'll be hard to tell from the pictures, but once I got Darkwing in my hand and started moving him around and swapping hands and testing out the different alternate head, I did notice a number of blemishes on the paint apps. Switching the hands, paint started to come off. For a figure that costs as much as this, the fact that there were numerous paint apps mistakes, as well as also the paint coming off from just simply switching hands, that was a unwelcome surprise. And when I compare this action figure to some of the other figurines of Darkwing that I have, it becomes noticeable that for whatever reason they made Darkwing's hat purple as opposed to the light gray that it's supposed to be. His beak and also feet are a noticeably darker shade of orange than opposed to most of the other Darkwing figures where it's closer to yellow. And because of how far down his tunic comes, it affects the articulation in his legs. So you can only move his leg a little bit. And there's no articulation where his knees would be, getting him to balance a little tricky. Having been excited for a premium Darkwing Duck action figure, I'd say that this Diamond Select effort was very disappointing, especially with the price tag. And now that I'm finished talking about Darkwing for now, it's time to move on to the other figure that's included in this 2-pack. While Negaduck does have the exact same engineering as Darkwing, I'd say that his figure is a bit better, due to his figure having much cleaner paint apps. But the big plus with this Negaduck figure is the accessories, which is a standing cape, a flowing cape, his hat, his chainsaw, his bazooka, machete, neutral face, beak slightly open face, and his maniacal grinning face, as well as gripping hands, fists, and a set of hands with pinkies out, with also a stand that will Negaduck balance when he has his weapons extended. And lastly, an old-timey cartoon bomb. And since this Negaduck figure is using a 95% copy of the Darkwing figure, just like Darkwing, his hat doesn't fit on his head properly, as well as also they didn't make the cape wide enough, so the part that's supposed to go around his neck doesn't slot into the grooves that it's supposed to. Instead, it just sits there loosely. No matter how hard you try to get it in place, it just won't go into place. They also didn't make a way for him to actually hold the bomb properly. So you have to either try to find a way to get it to balance, or you have to use the stand. While it is pretty cool to actually have a proper Negaduck action figure and not just Negatron, or having to customize the Darkwing figure into Negaduck, at the end of the day, while the figure is slightly better than the Darkwing figure, for the price point, it should have been a much, much better figure. Double jointed elbows and knees should be standard for premium priced action figures. In conclusion, I have to say that Darkwing Duck and Negaduck 2-pack by Diamond Select is a definite pass. Don't pick it up unless you can find it on deep discount. Well, till next time, see ya.